The Cadillac CT-5 V Blackwing is Cadillac's last hurrah in the V8 super sedan segment. So what if you're one of the lucky few that will actually get their hands on one of these cars? What sort of fuel economy can you expect on the highway? Well, today we're gonna find out. This is Christopher Brower here with Daily Motor, and today we're running the real-world highway fuel economy test on the 2022 Cadillac CT-5 V Blackwing with the 6-speed manual transmission. Before we get started, let's hop out and take a look around it. Cars like this always make me sad because I know that they are the last of their kind, and this one I think has made me the saddest because it is so good. It's such a good car. It's very driver focused. It's beautiful to look at, especially in this spec red with the gold wheels. And now that everything's going electric, we must say goodbye to these big V8 super sedans, but at least we have this one this week. We're able to enjoy it one last time. Today we're going to go on a highway fuel economy test, which most people that buy this car probably won't be super concerned, but over at Daily Motor we like to find out what every car gets on the highway in a real world scenario. So today we are going to do that test. If you want to know more about the CT5 V Blackwing beyond just what it gets for fuel economy on the highway, we will have a couple more videos linked down below, including my full review on the car as well as a sound system test of the AKG speaker system in this CT5 Blackwing. All right, well, with all that out of the way, why don't we just take one more walk around this thing and appreciate how good this car looks. I think the CT5 looks quite a bit better than the CT4. And I, of course, like the powertrain in this car better too. A supercharged V8 with push rods and a proper 6-speed manual transmission. Oh, just listen to that thing. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and get started. So why do we do this test? Well, the EPA's fuel economy test, which gives this CT5 V Blackwing 21 MPG on the highway, only averages 48 miles per hour. And we know that some people like to actually take their cars on proper road trips. So what we're gonna do today is go out 25 miles and back 25 miles, averaging a speed of 70 miles per hour to get a more real world figure. Couple things worth noting for today's test: outside temperature is 83 degrees Fahrenheit, and we'll be running the climate control in here at 73 degrees auto. We do this in every test for a nice baseline figure. Also, tire pressures have been set to their factory door placard indicated 35 PSI cold, and we'll be using the same gas pump both times, using the same 3-click filling method to get the most accurate result possible. All right, let's go ahead, hop out, and get our first fill. 15.283 gallons in there for our first fill. Gonna go ahead and click auto on our climate control here. Apologize for the fan, it's gonna get loud for just a second. May actually have to shout so you guys can hear me. We've also got a couple of different drive modes in this Cadillac Blackwing. We've got Tour, Sport, Track, Snow, Ice, and My Mode. Today we're going to be running in Tour, as it is the most tame of the drive modes, to give us the best chance of being economical in this big supercharged V8 sedan. Highway's about a half mile away. I will catch up with you guys once I am merging on. I've been driving this car around now for about 2 days, and it's taking everything in me to not just like drop down to second gear and hear all the pops and burbles and rasps and everything, but I promise I will behave for the sake of science today in this fuel economy test. Anyways, the purpose of this test is not to hypermile. I'm not going to be doing anything crazy, any sort of drafting or Honda Insight activities on the highway today. I'm just going to go ahead and merge on the highway here, set the cruise control to a GPS indicated 72 miles per hour, and just drive. First highway impressions with the CT5 V Blackwing. It's really nice. It's still a Cadillac. It's still got a pretty posh interior. These seats are a little bit hard. They've got some carbon fiber on them and such things. They are still a sporty seat, but that doesn't mean that they're not comfortable. The overall ride comfort when you're in tour mode seems to be nice as well. And even though this is a fire-breathing 668 horsepower car, there's no drone from the exhaust when you're in quiet mode just chilling on the highway. So all of those are good things. I like that when Cadillac makes a performance car, they still leave it a Cadillac and you're still able to be comfortable in it when you're not driving like a bat out of hack. So all good things. I'll let you know more at the end of the fuel economy test once I have actually sat in this car for about an hour. You'll be able to get some better highway driving impressions from me. But for now, I'm going to go ahead, sit back, listen to some tunes on this AKG sound system, and I'll go ahead and catch up with you guys in about 45 miles. Finishing up the highway fuel economy test here on the CT5 V Blackwing. Coming up on just about 55 miles. I missed my 50-mile exit, so this will be more like a 60 to 65-mile test. The car is reading 23.6 MPG, which is beating EPA by about 1.6 miles per gallon, so that is pretty decent. We'll have to see what the actual figure is once we actually get back to the gas pump and fill this thing up. But otherwise, as far as just highway driving impressions, thank you, Jeeves. As far as highway driving impressions go, this thing has been just smooth as ever. And though the ride is not as smooth as Cadillacs of years past, like the Brougham and things of that nature, it's still a very nice ride when you're in tour mode, when you're in the comfortable suspension setting. It really doesn't beat you up too bad. These seats have done pretty well. They aren't the most comfortable things in the world, but they do support you pretty well for long distance driving. Road intrusion, little to none. Wind intrusion, also little to none. And this car is very easy to just cruise down the highway. I don't really feel under too much pressure to be dodging potholes and feeling like the car is going to break in half or anything like that. So it's a very confidence-inspiring car just from a highway driving standpoint. I've had like 10 people give me thumbs ups. I didn't know that many people would really recognize the Blackwing, but I guess it's a very much appreciated and loved car. So it's always cool to see stuff like that. And I've actually got a Shelby right behind me right now. I don't know if you guys can see that. I also saw a Caliber SRT4 on my trip, so good things, good vibes today. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the last few miles of this trip, and I will meet you guys once I have brimmed the tank on this Blackwing. All right, and 2.922 gallons in there for our final fill. So let's go ahead and do some math here. We'll take our 61.09 miles driven on our trip today, divided by the 2.922 gallons of gas that we used, and that gives us a total of 20.9 MPG, rounding up today to the EPA estimated rating of 21 MPG. I'm a little bit disappointed. I was really hoping that this would be slightly higher, since the car was reading 23.8, 23.9 towards the end of the trip. If you wanted to take the average of both, you'd be somewhere in the middle, around 22.5, 23-ish. So if you were to look at it that way, it makes it a little bit better. But as far as our math goes, this Blackwing has just about met EPA there at 20.9 MPG. Now, if we multiply this by 17 gallons, we get an effective highway cruising range of 350 miles, which, to be honest, is not really the best. It'll get you to Chicago, but not quite all the way back from Detroit. But at the end of the day, this is a V8 supercharged super sedan, so we're not going to beat up on it for only having a 350-mile highway range and just about meeting EPA. So that'll wrap it up for us today, and if you want to see what really matters, if you want to see the full review of this CT5 V Blackwing, make sure you check the links in the description. to view all of that content where you can hear this glorious supercharged V8 sing. But with all that out of the way, that'll end it for us today. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been Christopher Brower here with Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.